Hey lovers, it's Ray. Today we are setting up a brand new bullet journal. Since I'm migrating into a new journal, towards the end of the year, I'm not only going to be setting up a monthly spread for the next month, but I'm also going to be setting up some New Year 2021 spreads. It feels nuts to be talking about the new year, to be talking about 2021 entirely, considering 2020 has been such a cluster. But the new year is coming, whether any of us are ready for it or not. So let's go ahead and get setting up. I'm using a square Archer and Olive notebook. I'll have all of my supplies linked below. Writing your name is always so stressful. I don't know why. But I'm being inspired by the sun on the front of this notebook, along with the sun, moon, and star imagery from my personal branding to really set the tone of this notebook. I've been bullet journaling for a while, so I don't really need a key, but I always love the way it looks on the first page. And I just love these golds and yellow hues that I'm going to be having throughout the beginning of this notebook. This I actually use more than anything else in my notebook, I think. This is my grid spacing page. This has the height and width of the pages with commonly used amounts of spaces between the dot grids to make it really easy to set up boxes and just all the spreads that you need. It's very, very convenient. On this other page next to it, I just wanted a really simple quote. I found this online and I just thought that it was going to be great for getting us through the end of the year. Regardless of where you start, finish strong. We all want a strong finish to 2020, and I just really liked the way that it looked there. So I'm having a couple issues with camera angles. As you can see, my camera did not want to stay still in the beginning of this. I finally got it set, thank goodness, eventually. You'll see when I get it set, but this is just the last 2 months of the year. Since October is the first month that I'll be in here, I don't need October since I'm setting it up. And so this is just November and December and some simple holiday tasks. And then I'm also throwing in just a short little place for a 2020 reflection, along with a quote from Feelin' Good. This 2020 reflection, I will probably have more of an actual kind of journal entry later on, but I wanted to have a concise place where I could just write, some keywords, some thoughts of what happened in the year, just to really concise and let it be there. Since the next spread that I'm going into is the next few spreads that I'm going into after this are more like 2021 transition spreads. So this one is the first of that. This spread I will fill out before the end of the year. This is my 2021 year ahead spread. So I'm going to be pulling tarot and oracle cards just like I did for 2020. I'm going to do that for 2021. And I'm going to be pulling a few more this year. I'm actually pulling some all at once, and then each month I'm going to pull a few as well and have that here. And so I'm very excited for that. I will have videos up for each of those in the new year as well, now that I'm doing all of those digitally on YouTube. So next, we're going into a very personal spread. It's a desire map. This is based on the book, The Desire Map by Danielle Laporte. I would highly, highly recommend this book. It quite honestly changed my life. It completely changed the way that I set goals, the way that I go about planning my days. I don't feel comfortable completely explaining it since she created the system. I would recommend actually reading the book and doing it for yourself. This is just a condensed version because I've already done it and I know what I need to do a new one to kind of really feel out my feelings again. So definitely check out her book. Once you have the feelings, then you can make the goals. This page is going to be where I kind of set my manifestations for the year. I'm also making some epic mess ups along the way. I've made a couple, but this one was like, whew, man, that little washi tape, I just could not keep it together. But I am using both a white gel pen and some white sticker paper to cover up any mistakes that I make, because we all make mistakes. It's life. I'm also having this many goals because I like to split up the areas of my life so that I have a better view of what I actually want. And then on the page next to it, very simply, I'm just making a page for action steps so that I can make the goals and then really think about how I'm going to accomplish them. It helps me to break up my life into those small pieces. It might not for some people, and you might be the kind of person that only works with a few goals at a time, but I really enjoy breaking things down into smaller pieces so they're easier for me to plan, easier for me to digest. Moving on, this page is going to be a pretty big future log, year ahead look at the first 6 months of 2021. I like having all of my months and like the important days all together, which is why I just keep them together. I'm also just throwing in a ton of these sun doodles. I've been putting them everywhere. I just love the way that they look. I love the bright and happy feeling that they give. I just adore it. And writing all these numbers does take some willpower, but it is so totally worth it. And they all look so good and clean once they're all done. The next page after this is a long-term trackers page. So I've seen this in a couple journals and on Pinterest, and you have a habit for each column and then each month for things that are more seasonal. Like for me, I'm definitely going to have one for like mowing my yard because I have to do that more or less on different times of the year. Things that aren't as regular habits, and I'm really, really excited to use this and see how this works for me. You're also seeing me throw some gold washi tape on this long-term trackers page with the future log, along with gold washi tape on the key page with my grid spacing, since those two are going to be the most referenced in the whole journal. So now we're on to October. Shout out to my tattoo artist for doing this beautiful, gorgeous piece on my body. I'm absolutely love having artwork just on myself that I can use as inspiration, which is what I'm doing for this month, since I love this kind of potions, herbs, and botanicals piece that she did on me. I'm using it as inspiration because it feels good for October. So this is kind of a cover page that's actually a mood tracker. I'm having this big cauldron that's whimsical with this smoke coming off of it and this label on the front that has jewels in it. And those jewels are going to be my moods that I fill out for every day of the month. So by the end of the month, it'll be this bright and colorful label on the front of this smoky cauldron, which I think is just going to look so good. The next page, I'm adding a word of the day spread. I absolutely love a word of the day. I love concising my day down in one word, looking up a new word maybe if I found something or discovered something that day. It's just something that I really enjoy. Next, we are going into a monthly log. This will end up being filled completely with important dates, along with trying to plan ahead social media posts, and then the end of it will be a daily gratitude. So it'll be totally full. On this opposite page, this doodle might actually be my favorite doodle in the entire spread that I'm setting up. This little herbal bundle that I am just so pleased with how it looks. But that's just an empty brainstorming page, kind of a brain dump for any ideas that I have. And the quote that I'm writing at the bottom is from the song Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love them, and I absolutely love that song and that quote as well. The next page is a pretty simple spread. It's really just finances, and I'm only going to have a couple headers. The most detail on the page is this little pipette and, test tube doodle, which I just thought looked so good, especially since it was a bigger doodle. I thought it would look good on this page where I don't have as much information, just my bills, my credit card balances, income, that stuff. On the next page, I'm having my monthly goals and intentions page, continuing to split up parts of my life because that's what works for me. I'm making these little fires for my intentions, which visually and mentally I love because it's like me putting my goals in fire to like build it and stoke that and grow that. So I just loved that visualization. The next page, we have a movement. Well, what I'm setting up right now in this second is my movement tracker, which is going to be for all my workouts. These little potion bottles are going to have little icons on them for some pretty common workouts that I like to do, ways that I love to move. I enjoy looking at this at a actual month view so that I can see when my rest days and when certain things line up on certain days of the week. The page next to it is my big tracking page. This is where I have my sleep schedule, when I eat, and then I have a big habit tracker next to it. So that will all be filled in at the end as well. We also have another awesome mess up because I forgot that I need a place to actually write my habits. You want to keep those routines, you have to actually write them down. So, keeping it authentic because nobody's perfect and the first time through is never perfect. So it happens that way. After this, we are on to the last spread that I'm setting up, which is the first weekly. So since October starts in the middle of the week, I'm having just a couple days of that week on one side and then the full weekly on the other side. I'm also setting up a running task list. I have seen many different bullet journalers use this. It's so handy for me. I use it just about every week, and I'll link a description below with a video of someone setting it up. This quote right here is from the song Medicine by Rising Appalachia. I absolutely love that. It's such a beautiful quote. I'm now going to go through and add depth to everything. So I'm adding some little sparkly paint to this crystal ball. You're going to see me go through and add stars. You're going to see me go through and add some more depth to different pages, a couple eraser marks because there's still some pencils that I needed to erase through from where I kind of traced things out. Really just adding anything extra that needed to be extra. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I am going to let y'all enjoy the beautiful sound of the meters at the end of this because I have the final flip through and walk through real time so that you guys can see that. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I am really enjoying putting together these bullet journal videos, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying them too. Please give me feedback if there's anything that you think that you might use in your journal, if there's something that you really didn't expect to see. I would just love your feedback. So thanks, y'all, and have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.